There's something about having your cat back as a mate's like an undercover fed. But yeah, man, it's just my thoughts. I ain't done one of these videos in a while. But my thoughts on like fixtures that's happened in Europe this week. You get Arsenal versus PSG. Obviously, it's not a game that turned out the way I wanted, or any Arsenal fan wanted. But you know, look, it's still 1-0. There's still a lot to play for. There's a whole, I mean, it's half time right now. You've got like a whole 90-minute half to go, and we're only 1 goal down. So it's not really. Sounds bright today. Yes, it's not even really like. Obviously, it's not an ideal result, but then like there's still a lot to play for, isn't it? It's far from over. The beautiful thing about that game is that because we're only 1-0 down, I don't think we have to go like gung ho in the beginning. Well, at the start of the game, like, we don't need to have an early goal. We can kind of like process what's going on. We can play our game. We could do what we normally do, just not let the tie get further and further away from us, innit? So, and then moving on to Spurs and Man United's fixtures, you know, they've both done good. Fair play to them. Man United put away Atletico Bilbao. To be honest with you, I thought Bilbao was going to win it, simply for the fact that the finals at their ground. They're like 4th in La Liga or whatever. I think they're 4th in La Liga and overall having a decent season. So you know what, fair play to Man United for that. Can't hate. Spurs. Going back to Man United quickly. They're actually the only team in Europe that are currently unbeaten. And again, like I said, fair play. I'm a hater normally, but I can't even hate on them with that. That's actually quite impressive. And yeah, fair play to Spurs as well. They've got to this. Well, them and Man United are having a terrible season. Both being 14th and 16th respectively, but they're in the European semi-final at the end of the day, innit? Both teams are 1 foot in the final. Spurs obviously played Bodo Glimt. They came away with 3-1 victory. I didn't watch the game, but I heard in the second half it wasn't really going all Spurs' way. I think from what I've heard, from what I've been reading, Bodo Glimt actually came back in the game. And now the Spurs fans are a little bit wary of next week because they've got the AstroTurf pitch, the 3G pitch, which isn't ideal for players. Players find it hard to play on. And listen, Bodo Glimt, they're not a bad team. Like, they've pulled off a few upsets over the years, and apparently there was even understrength yesterday. And so the second leg could be interesting. I think the Man United tie is over. I think they're in the final, to be honest with you. 3-0 away from home. I don't really see Bilbao coming back from that. I think their main centre-back yesterday was sent off. So he ain't going to be playing in the second leg. But, but moving on to the wider topic of debate, because I've been seeing this a lot. People are speculating if Man United or Spurs would have a better season than Arsenal if one of them goes on to win the Europa League and Arsenal don't go on to win the Champions League. Now, alright, in black and white, yes, that's true, that makes sense. But this world ain't black and white. Football's not black, nothing's black and white. There is greys to everything. There is like 2 sides to the story. You got to look at things in context. You can't take things out of context to suit your argument. Because at the end of the day, right, Arsenal are playing in the Champions League. Arsenal in the last 4 were probably the best teams in Europe at the minute. Best teams in the world football. You got PSG, who people are regarding as the best team in the world. You got Barcelona, who are also regarded as one of the best teams in the world. And these 2 teams both have some of the best talent in world football in a minute. And then you get into Milan, also another team. Some of the best players in the world football are currently playing for them. Lautaro Martinez, Barella, them man there, like Thuram. So basically what I'm saying is the levels of competition that we're both playing in are entirely different from each other. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, taking nothing away from United and Spurs, but the fact that you have a team in 14th and another team in 16th currently both have 1 foot in the final, I think that says more about the strength of those competitions than anything else. I mean, we watch Spurs, and listen, this isn't a video of me just digging out like rival fans, but we literally watch Spurs and United be pathetic most weeks in the Premier League. These two teams aren't good teams, and that's not even from a hating standpoint or anything like that. They're not good teams, it's fact. So you can't. So basically, you can't. And I'm referring to their fans when I say this. You can't spend all season complaining how crap your team is, how poor you've been, and you shouldn't be where you are in the league. It's a disgrace. The managers need to go. And then all of a sudden you've had a great season because you won a couple of games in a European competition that obviously isn't the strongest. The level of the Europa League has actually gone down because remember, the teams that get knocked out of the Champions League, they don't go in the Europa League anymore. You know what I mean? And in different leagues, clubs further down the table qualify for the Europa League. So you're basically seeing a watered down version of the Europa League. And you know what? That's what people are saying about the Champions League. That's what they're saying about the Champions League to some extent with this new whole revamped group stage that we now see. Obviously, in the beginning of the group stage, you were seeing teams in the Champions League or in the group stage phase where you wouldn't really normally see in the Champions League, like young boys and etc. So you're seeing the same thing in the Europa League as well. And for that reason, you're seeing the Champions League. I wouldn't say the Champions League is watered down because you've still got the biggest and best teams in there in world football. But the Europa League as like, they've added more teams that would usually be in the Conference League in that competition, and they don't get the grace of having the teams from the Champions League in that competition. Because what it was before, the teams that will normally go in and win it, I don't know if it's for every season, but the teams that will normally go and win it or go far are the ones that dropped out of the Champions League. You don't have that this year. So maybe that explains why Spurs and Man United are even in the semi-final. You get what I'm saying? Because if the format allowed for teams to drop into the Europa League that get knocked out of the Champions League, you'd probably be seeing a different tournament. So I don't know. So past years it would have been different. So yeah, we just got. All I'm basically trying to say is that sometimes you've got to look at context in certain things. So yeah, and I just don't think that. Because I see a lot of Arsenal fans, they're actually getting on Arteta in a minute saying, oh, can he get us over the line? Can he do this? Can he do that? And yes, I admit, I'm even asking questions. I'm Arteta's biggest fan, innit? But even I am asking questions now if he is the right guy, because obviously we see more evidence that he can't get us over the line than he actually can. So yeah, naturally, if we go another season without winning anything, not turning up in big games, etc., then yeah, that's naturally going to be the question that's going to be asked, isn't it? So yeah, so we can't get away from that. But I will say this, we have to look at context and things. So I feel like Arsenal fans they're worried about being bantered by Spurs fans. They're worried about being bantered by United fans. And I'm just basically saying it's not always about club rivalry. You can't be just watching what your rivals do and then be worried about them banting you. That's like, it's just support your own team. Don't really watch what other teams do. You get what I'm saying? Because if you use that as a measuring stick, if you use what Spurs and United are doing, if one of them win the Europa League as a measuring stick, it doesn't make any sense. Because at the end of the day, they're playing in the worst competition that we are. You know what I mean? So, I mean, put it like this. Like, the best analogy I can give is like, say me and my friend go to a bar and we see two girls, right? One of them's ugly, one of them is leng, for want of better terms. Like, I don't know. It's like me going up to the ugly one and being successful, and my friend going up to trying to move to the leng one and being unsuccessful, and afterwards it's like me bragging saying, oh, I get more things than you. You don't get as many girls as me or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is what I do. This is what goes on in my actual life, but I'm just giving an example. That's like me bragging about me getting more girls than my friend because I pursued I pursue the ugly one, for want of a better for want of a better terms. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't. It'd be silly of me to brag about anything if I've set my standards a lot lower. Basically, that's what I'm saying, innit? So we can't really look at what they're doing in that competition because it's not as good of a competition as what we're playing in, innit? It's plain as simple as that. So yeah, we shouldn't really be looking at what everyone else is doing. We just got to focus on ourselves and try to turn this tie around, innit? Because I feel like, I think that's what Arsenal fans are mainly worried about. Because obviously Arsenal get a lot of stick online and we get a lot of shit, we get a lot of like hate and everything like that. And I feel like sometimes fans let that rattle them too much. So half the time I think when they're going about how they want Arteta gone and they want to do this and they want that, I think they're only reacting to what could possibly be said in the summer if things don't go to plan. And I just feel like that this is where modern football's at. It's all about social media. It's all about what people are saying. And listen, I'm a victim to it as well. I'll give people stick online. I'll do this. I'll do that. You know, I'm a football fan. I don't take it serious. It's not serious to me. It's just fun and games, innit? But like all football fans are victims to it, innit? But what I'm basically trying to say is like you've got to look at context in some circumstances, because at the end of the day we're playing in a competition where that is a lot harder to win than the Europa League or Conference League, and it's just plain as simple as that. So if we're not successful in doing that and then those clubs are successful in their competitions, it doesn't really mean that much. Basically, it doesn't really mean that all of a sudden they've had a good season, we've had a shit season. No, if you finish up 14th and 16th and you win a competition that you should be getting far in, that's not, to me, that's not a good. Other people might disagree in it, but to me, that doesn't constitute for a good season. Because like I said earlier, you can't be saying, oh, your team is performing badly, we're performing shit, and then you win a couple games that you probably should be winning, and all of a sudden your season's great and your team's not that bad. Nah, it don't work like that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, these are just my thoughts. I don't know if I articulate anything I said correctly or properly, but who gives a shit? You know, it's my thoughts, my opinions. Don't like it, I don't care.